Become really good detectives. You know, there's lots of information and breakdowns, like even more than I think you know is there. Like if you look at the producers and what they do, if you look at the directors and what they've worked on, their previous work, to sort of like get ideas, become slightly engulfed. And it's not that you have to spend so much time doing research or anything. Like it's not time put in, it's working smart to get the hints that you need to get there quickly, put it out there, and then hopefully forget about it until maybe booked.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest notes that I would say a lot of the coaching that I do is the first note is always great performance, you're not in the show. And then asking the question, did you do research on comparable shows within the genre? And almost always the answer is no. And it's like, okay, cool, well, there's performance styles that are associated with all of these things. It's like, it's not just about, can you act good? It's what is the world that you're being asked to exist in, and can you fit within that and then act very good?
And then be honest with yourself. Like,
yeah.
It's so hard.
It's so much, but I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Hey there, welcome back to the DNA podcast. This is the podcast where we learn what artists and creatives are made of, hence the DNA part of it. It also stands for Douglas Nyback Acting, which is up there. Today's guest is none other than casting director Colleen Rush. I first really met Colleen working on a series called Run the Burbs. I was the acting coach on the show, and Colleen casts a ton of projects on her own, as well as working in tandem with Larissa Mair Casting. Larissa Mair is a really fantastic human being on the planet as well. Shout out Larissa. And the two of them are these wonderfully creative, interesting, pragmatic champions of actors. And so I kept bumping into Colleen at different events and stuff, and finally we grabbed dinner and started chatting, and then I really wanted to get her on the podcast, and she was kind enough to come because I think, one, she's the first casting director on the pod, which is so great, and I think being able to actually have real practical grounded conversations with casting is an invaluable resource for actors and for artists, and also just for people who are here and interested in the way the industry works and how the sausage gets made. You know, this is a really, really cool one, and Colleen is really on the forefront of ambition and integrity and intelligence in the way that she casts, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for her. And I mean, this is just basically this place where she and I got to like really shoot the shit about all things casting, like what goes into actors booking, what keeps actors from booking, what the process is behind the curtain, all of these things. So if you're an actor, you're somebody who's interested in the casting process, and if you're an actor, you absolutely should be. This is a very, very cool episode, and I'm so grateful that she's here. So if you're here and you're new, please click like and subscribe before we get into it. We also have a couple of awesome sponsors for today's show. Othership, which is this really cool contrast therapy studio, sauna, cold plunges, based out of both Toronto and New York City. They're supporters of our show, and I'm a huge supporter of them. I go every Friday if I can. And Fancy Face, which is a skincare and makeup brand created by Brittany Gray, who is a client of mine. She's a really talented actor. She spent the past 20 years developing this incredible business, working to really develop her products for dancers and artists. And she's a big champion of artists understanding how their aesthetic translates on camera and how that helps people book work, and she helps people create those looks. Really cool. She's a cool person. Both really cool things. More about them later. And, you know, listen, appreciate you. Let's, without further ado, get on into the episode.
Increasingly, like I'm really psyched because you're the first casting director we've had on the show.
Oh wow, very high stakes.
It's so don't
Actually, there's no stakes. Yeah, I set them.
It's true. That's right.
They're low.
Everybody else.
I can say whatever I want.
You can. But it's interesting because like I think about acting. Wow, really blowing the lid off this thing. I think about
say all your feelings.
Yeah, I think about the way that I came up, like in my 20s, was like getting in the room with casting directors and meeting y'all, and like hopefully doing good in front of y'all, and sometimes also up in front of y'all, and it's really like I'm psyched to have you because there's a whole like new generations of actors that. Like you guys, it's almost like casting gets a chance to really get to know us in a lot of ways. Obviously, we're putting our best foot forward. It's not like you're meeting us, but there's not a lot of FaceTime for actors in casting. So I'm so excited to like have a little bit of an opportunity to flesh this out.
Yeah, well, it has changed a lot in like the last few years, and I know it's very lonely for the actors, and I really feel for especially the ones coming up. Like I did a talk at George Brown And I've done it twice now, and every time I'm like, I'm so sorry that you're not going to have the opportunity to meet everyone. And anytime you're going to be in the room, if you will be, before it really matters, like we'll be on set. Like likely you're going to be on set before you've been directed in the room at all.
Yeah.
And that's so crazy. Like as an idea, but it's like that's where we are now. Just with COVID shifted us into the virtual world and everything. But like, I do want actors to know like how much we see them. Like I walk on the street and I'm like, have I met you, or do I just know you from your tapes? Like I don't know sometimes if I've met them before.
Right.
So like we know you really well. We watch every tape. Like we watch your work, and like we're rooting for you. Like Larissa and I'll get on the call, and we're like, this person, remember this, and it's like we see you, and we want to see you, and so I know you don't get to hear that, and it's very sort of like in the tunnel vision of what you guys put out there, but we see it, and we love all your work, and like keep doing it, and like. But also this like world of being able to self-tape, like you're able to like build your craft in a way that you couldn't before. Like yes, you can focus on the negatives that can do and all that, but it allows you to have a job to sustain yourself while you build your career. It allows you to work it around everything. It allows you to really be an artist and think about like, how does this character work for me? What are the moments in here? Like it makes you really be a problem solver. Because also even when you're in the room, it wasn't that it was like our job to give you those notes. We would just give a note if it was like, oh, we just need one note to make this better. But you would be doing all that anyways. So honestly, it's annoying that we can't do that, and I miss it like crazy. The room is like my favorite thing.
Right.
Like any opportunity in the room, I do not care if I'm doing like a short film for free. If they're like, we're gonna do this on the weekend, I'm like, great, I'm there.
Right.
Like it's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's just great to connect with everybody. So, but also don't hate tapes. They're a really great tool.
And I think about like I think a lot about life as a journey of you're trying to trade your worst problems in for better problems, because like the ideal life doesn't exist. Otherwise, I would imagine like Elon Musk wouldn't have bought Twitter. You know, he would have just been like, you know what? I think.
Should we talk about Elon?
I think I'm fine. I think I'm good. And instead, you know, and I think if I like, because I have the perspective on my entire day being about having to go into the room. Like I remember being a coach in my like mid-20s with clients all morning, with one part of my brain always like
I have to go there.
Moment, being like lines, making sure that they're, and like going through like the choreography of my audition in my head, like a dancer backstage about to go on, like, and constantly. And by the time that audition was done at like 3 or 4, being like, oh my God, like so much energy had been put into that through the day that was just passive energy. Yeah. And now that doesn't exist anymore. Like now.
Well, it's like, and you have the opportunity to do it again if you didn't get that. Like, because casting directors, like, we wouldn't always give you an opportunity to do it again.
No.
Like.
No. And to a degree, I think that, like, I do think that the lessons of put up or shut up are super useful, especially like when you're like, that teaches you how to be on set. Yeah. You know, and tapes don't teach you how to be on set. They teach you how to audition real good. Yeah. Which is
its own art form.
Yeah.
It's completely, honestly, separate from being on set. Like, it's not the same thing.
For sure. One thing that I've been, I think about casting directors a lot now. I mean, every actor thinks so. I think if casting directors knew like how much actors' bandwidth goes to like being like, what are these casting directors thinking right now? And blah, blah, like, because like,
I would say we're somewhat aware, because like when you run into actors a lot of the time, like I feel like I've had people like they say hi and they talk to you, and then they instantly like beat themselves up for like how they were when they met you, and you're like, it's cool. Like,
it's so
don't
funny.
worry. We're all people. We're all just I understand. Yeah. We're this like ether that no one sees, but sees you. Like it's this sort of.
It's a fascinating dynamic.
It's a fascinating dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, and increasingly you casting is now like the wizard behind, you know, like it's like we don't see. And so I think but I think about casting now too, on the flip side of it being like, you guys are seeing so many more people per role than you used to. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe not so many.
Yes, I don't think as drastically as some people might think, and it also depends on sort of how different casting directors work, and how different what the role needs, like that kind of thing. So, but we do have, we have the option to. And it's a lot easier if you don't see the first round. Like, if you don't, people just didn't get it. That's fine. Right. But it's a lot easier to just do another round of tapes. 48 hours later, you have more. Right. And you can build a really good link for your client.
And do you find that's become a challenge for your focus? Like there being like an uptick in like amount, or even just like not being in the room and having
It can, because like
be...
in the room you had so many, time was such a thing, so you could only fill it with so many people. So like there was a lot of just sort of like cut. These are the ones that we can like spend time on. It was a lot harder to like get seen as a new actor because it was hard to take a risk on somebody because there was only so much time you have. So I love being able to see new people quicker. Like it's so amazing. Like there's so many great actors, so many people coming out of school that want to come and do this, and we're able to see them like so quickly, and it's just so great for us. We're able to get a variety a lot quicker.
Yeah, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Like objectively for the industry, I think it's great because there's like anytime you're in a situation where more talent is accessible, I think like it causes all facets to grow. Like I think including actors like me who I've been around for longer, the fact that I know that there's like much more access to newer people causes me to stay on my toes, to be like, oh, there's never going to be a shortage of people who are like out there learning and growing and trying to surpass. And I think that it makes it a little less comfortable for actors who are, I don't know if I'm
less
like
comfortable, but also it's not that, because we want to see everyone that we see over and over again continue to do well. Like it's like, if you do a good tape, like we're not going to say no to it. Like it's not like we have a limit of how many people we can show to our client or anything. So we want to send every single tape that we ask for. You just can't. You have to sort of like adjust it for the role. You know, some internal conversations that have happened. But also if you do a good tape and it's not right for the role, like we'll remember that for another role. And a lot of times like shift it over. Like we're constantly like, the amount of times I wake up at night, I'm like, this person for this thing. And like,
I remember when pilot season was like a big thing. And like, I don't know, maybe it'll come back, but with like the
I've heard it's fairly back this year.
It would make
it's starting
sense.
to like rev up again, just agents dealing with a lot of different pilots and everything. Like last year, it seemed to be like it was gone. And so minimal.
It really felt like gone.
Yeah. But this year it feels like it's getting alive again.
Well,
I've talked to a few agents, and that's how which is great.
Yeah, well, I think like there seems to be this renaissance of like long-running network TV shows, which was what pilots were for. Right? Like you didn't do pilots for prestige TV. You did pilots to see if like you should do a series order.
Should do a series, get it sold, and then get people on for long-term contracts. Well, all of the streamers want long-term format contracts. So I think with that, it's like, okay, we need new shows that they want to buy, and then they go on for however long. They want subscribers to be watching them on their platforms for a long period of time. It's harder for features because it's short and quick. But like for TV, it's like they want long form.
Yeah. And I think like the concept of pilot season, like again, an actor's relationship with casting, I think one of the big challenges that actors deal with is one of the ways, like a really effective coping mechanism for the rejection of the actor's life, I think, is cynicism. And I don't think that any actor starts out wanting to be cynical about the industry, but like you get enough no's thrown in your face, it becomes easy to be. And so like it's funny because pilot season became this thing where it's like, well, so many of these roles are already going to be on offer and blah blah blah, and maybe they are, but I've always said, and just to echo a point that you made a little bit earlier, it's like you're auditioning for this entire season, and you want to be auditioning with the best material you possibly can, rather than like pizza delivery guy number 7.
By these casting directors, by these producers, by these directors. You want to be seen by them, and it's not that like. There's also like with heated rivalry, the most like. But Canada's getting its moment.
Yes, it is. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Canada's getting its moment, which is so amazing. But it put a real spotlight on things that like casting directors have been pushing for so long. Of like you can have people. New people that are good, that are right for the roles, and they could blow up, and they could just become instantly famous. Like because there's such producers want everyone, they want to get eyes on everything. They want everyone to watch their stuff. So like there's a push for people that are well known or someone famous or somebody in it, right? And so heated rivalry, yes, they had the beautiful Francois, but they also had the 2 leads were new up-and-comers. And that was like it was wonderful how they were just skyrocketed. Like so it was this big thing.
Skyrocketed, yeah.
So anyways, it's like pilots, yes, there is frustration with them, and yes, you feel like the Americans are going to get them and all that, but just put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen and where that can take. It's gonna take. You want to be in the conversation, like as an actor, you want to be in the conversation of being sent past casting to everybody.
Yeah.
And then have them see that and have that sort of percolate all the way throughout, because you're not going to get every role. You're not going to, but you will get one. You will get one, and the hits will start happening. It's just that's how the traction sort of works.
And especially with like long running TV, like you never know. Like you can book something that feels small and innocuous that like 2 years from now can turn into a series reg. Like that's happened to plenty of my clients. Like
Yeah,
it's
they
like
just like fall in love with you as an artist, and they're like, you should be the next thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, as producers promise or directors promise, wait for network to approve it, because I don't want your whole dreams to die. They mean it, they do, but the network has to approve all the ideas.
Yeah, yes, it's very true. Yeah, there's always a really like nerve-wracking moment when you're
like, is it real?
Like, yeah,
no.
you booked it, but like you didn't. You're just waiting for network approval, and you're just like, I really hope that
this all goes
for whatever
well.
it is. Yeah. All those like things that you actually, now it's out of casting's control. It's out of our control. It's out of like it's just like it's in God's hands at that point. You know, except the God is ahead of the studio. It's fascinating, and so one thing that I've like noticed in talking to you, like in the couple of times we've hung out socially and now, is like you seem to just really freaking love actors and acting. You seem to be so passionate about it. And I know a little bit about your personal journey, but like our audience doesn't. So I'm curious if you'd be cool to chat about like how you got into this and like what led to you being so lit up by like the journey of acting and putting pieces together to create shows and getting into casting.
Well, acting itself is such a hard, vulnerable thing to do, and like I just respect everyone that's willing to do that and put their heart out there. Like every audition is basically a piece of yourself, like, or it should be. Like that's we want honest moments of how you would exist in this role and this character in this sort of tape. So that's just such a hard thing to do, and so like I respect it so much. And so growing up, I was like into theater. I was a big theater girl, and like I was homeschooled, so my mom would let me just do theater whenever I wanted, and I would just audition for every community theater all throughout the GTA, and just did it all the time. And then I went to like high school and did theater there. I was at Unionville High School, which at the time was a regional art school. So you audition, you get in. So theater was my life there too. And then I went to Queens to study theater and English. And then in Queens, I realized quickly that like I don't like auditioning like at all. And I understand a lot of people don't like auditioning. But like, it was just, that's most of the job. Like, it's just most of it. And so I pivoted and I started doing like lighting and makeup and hair and costume design. And then I ended up directing. And I was like, oh, the best part of that for me was the auditions and putting together the cast and why and all that. And it just like made me so excited. So it was basically from first year, I was like, I want to be a casting director. Very quickly. And so when I came to Toronto, I sold cars and I emailed casting directors every couple months. I would just sort of try to stay on the top of their minds, because when they need somebody, it'll be fast. And so then I was lucky enough to work with Michael Yerksta for a beat on The Amazing Race, just very freelance, very quickly there. And then I worked at Jigsaw Casting, Milo Casting, which was wonderful, a great experience to get me on EcoCast and Breakdown and casting workbook and all that stuff. And then the wonderful Larissa, her assistant, who I knew from Queens, she decided to leave, and so she dropped my name, and I made sure to email right then and there. And then long form is where it's at. It's where I just got so excited. It was just so wonderful to build series, to build features, and just any story that we can sort of make. And and Larissa gave me the opportunity to grow as a casting director in so many ways that like, I'm just so lucky that she's been supporting me like since an assistant, associate, co-casting, and then now I'm able to build my own business alongside with her, and we can collaborate together. And I'm so eternally grateful and just able to continue and have this mentor in my life. So
I'm a big fan of Larissa, if you're watching. But she also is someone whom like as I started to get a little bit more of a personal relationship with casting directors, like I was also just like really.
Well, she loves actors, and she's so outgoing, and she wants everyone to do. So like, I mean, I was so lucky to be taught by someone who is like energetic in the room.
Yeah,
And
is
not
rooting for you.
not afraid to like change it and yell a wonderful note in a very excited way to get you to do it, and like really, and not just sit back and let people just sort of pass by. So like, because I'm a very outgoing person, so like having that as well, I was like, oh, I can actually be totally myself. To and just make people feel comfortable. Like that's so much of it. It's like creating a room, creating a space, whether it be on Zoom or whether it be in person, whatever.
Yeah.
Even self-tapes, just like explaining notes clearly is a safer space than when you just sort of like put it out there and like figure it out. Like just anything to sort of make them feel supported, so that they're able to put in a good tape.
Yeah.
Like it's just such an important thing. And same with clients, when you're with directors, producers, you want everyone to feel comfortable and just able to like have opinions. Talk things out. And
it's such a job of opinions. Like I tell this to actors. It's like your opinions are the currency that you spend, and those pieces of currency will be like combined with everybody else in the creative teams as well, and eventually you will all find it together. Like it's from a casting standpoint, it was really interesting hearing you just now talk about piecing things together across long form. This is more just like, in getting to talk to you, it causes me to think about the casting process in a different way, because you just have a perspective that I can't have. And like I've been on the producerial side, and I've done.
So you have some idea, yeah.
Yeah, and I've like I cast nose to tail, like just because we didn't have any money. So it's just like I'll do it. Sure. But the idea of, I was just thinking about like the concept of how rewarding it must feel on the back end of like several years of a show to have seen how all of these pieces interweave.
When you see everyone shine, it's like, I remember one of the first things I did with Larissa was Odd Squad with her, and I just remember it was just like the Christmas party, and they were just showing like clips of the show, and I was just like in tears. But I was just so proud of everybody. It was just so nice to see them all, like some of these new kids that like hadn't had a chance, and we just found, and they were able to like just be so funny and so free, and just like these clips at our Christmas party. Anyway, so I learned very quickly, like I might cry at your tapes. It happens here and there.
That's great.
When I'm so happy that you were able to shine in this moment, and like when you watch an actor like click into something. Yeah. Because like there's some that they're on the cusp, you're like, oh, they're so close. Like, how do we get you there? And as like time happens, as you continue to learn and use that muscle and get coaching and just sort of like figure it out, and then like when it clicks, it's like it's honestly emotional to watch. You're just like so happy for them.
Yeah, you must be so like you must be so keyed into so many individuals' journeys and growth in a way that they will probably
they have
never
no
understand.
idea, which is fine. But we're rooting for all the actors so much.
That's really cool. And I think like, again, I know that, and I tell actors that.
But I know how it feels like you might not. And there's also a lot of like negative talk that goes around. Like they don't watch all the tapes. We might not watch all the tapes in full, but we watch all the tapes. There is someone, we're watching it. And so we know what's being put out there. And if they're not watching all the tapes, then why are you doing this job? That's the whole point, is to have a pulse on who is out there and what they can do.
Yeah.
And also if you're not taking a chance on people. Because it's like, one thing I find hard is like when you know someone just for comedy or just for drama. I love seeing someone switch.
Yeah.
And having the opportunity to do so. And it becomes easier with tapes because you're able to be like, let's see if they can switch it. Yeah. I will say I think it's easier for a comedy person in general to switch over to drama than it is for a very dramatic actor to switch over into comedy. Not that they can't, but it's something of a shift that I've noticed is harder to do. Yeah,
there's a reason why like Steve Carell, there's plenty of those types of actors who have like become Academy Award nominee dramatic actors, but there's very few. Like you're never going to see Daniel Day-Lewis in like Dumb and Dumber 6. It's never going to happen.
He can be funny in like a situation that's just funny because he's there. Yeah. But in terms of like being able to understand the timing of it or just having that.
Yeah.
And and being able to be big or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different and like the pressure like the pressure of being a dramatic actor is the pressure of being good. The pressure of being a good comedic actor is like, are you funny or aren't you? And that
And
has
it's this
like,
real cut, like yes or no.
oh yeah, and it's so obvious if you're not. Like
Yeah.
it's been painfully obvious when you're not. It's wild.
And sometimes it just, and sometimes you can be funny, and maybe today's not your day, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so many different comedies, and it's not every comedy is for everybody, and yeah.
And there's different styles of comedy
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, it's wild. Like it's and I find whenever I'm on, like, well, when I was coaching on Burbs, right?
Yes.
Like I learned so much about sitcom on that show, and I had studied sitcom obviously, but I had never done a sitcom. So like getting to work with all of those producers and getting to work with Andrew and just seeing the different ways the different actors on those shows, like how they function and how all of them are funny in different ways. Like for Andrew, it's like his whole thing was, I want to maximize funny on every possible delivery I can. And other actors, it was like different and more subtle, and it just like interwove into something beautiful. You guys cast the hell out of that show.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
excellent. Like just
Thank
some
you. Like
really funny people.
it was such a dream to be on that with everyone, and like Larissa, so it's like it was just so much fun. And Andrew, he was so great in like chemistry reads and stuff because he would be able to just like improv literally forever.
Yeah.
And a lot of the actors, like, they could do it too. So you're just like, when do I cut? Like, I don't want to cut.
Coaching on that show was really funny because it began with me like almost entirely working with the teens, and then I ended up working with more and more people as the show went on. But a lot of it was because they loved to improvise so much, like watching the clock go and just be like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to the kids and be like, guys, by the time we get to you, you're gonna have to do some seriously fast acting.
Yeah.
because they have used all of your time to do this improv, and it's amazing, and it meant that like I could get them ready to really dial in.
Yeah, you're gonna hit these points, hit these moments.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked out really well for everybody. Like Zariah ended up getting a CSA nom for that. Like it was freaking great. And like the difference of casting comedy versus drama, like is there anything like outside of the types of actors that you bring in, is there like a mindset that's different, or is there?
I'm not sure it's totally different. Like I would say with comedy, there's so much like you're sort of looking outside of the normal avenues that like you're not just looking at what agents send. You're really looking at like I go to comedy bar a lot, going to like, you're thinking of comedians that you've seen that don't have representation, because for some reason so many comedians don't. I don't know why.
Right.
They should. Personally, agents are helpful, managers, all that stuff. And you are different influencers that that are part of the region that you can look in and that kind of thing. Like with comedy, there's a lot more freedom with sort of looking at that. Not that you don't give those chances to people with drama. It's just drama is something that can be a lot harder, and so you generally go for a real trained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah. It's interesting because I produced a movie a few years ago where we did street casting. Like we were shooting in Syracuse, and there are casting directors that specialize in that. And
street casting is so fun. It is hard.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
Oh my god! And then it is a crapshoot with what happens on set.
Well, you just don't know.
You don't know.
You have no experience. You have no idea. Will they show up to the callback? Like it's just like, and then on set and all that stuff, and it's people that don't really understand that it's a job,
and also
but you get
like,
some people that are magic. Like it does happen, but it's based on a look.
It is.
It's based on a look, so it's really hard.
It's like discovering people at a soda fountain, for like a job. It's wild to me that like I had never done street casting before, and I was like,
wait, you did it for like a shoot? Like was it commercial or no?
No, this is a feature.
What?
It was a feature called Manodrome. Yeah. It was Jesse Eisenberg, Adrian Brody feature, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like some of our actors, obviously, like we did traditional casting, but then
but then like you're sort of like surrounding. World you were building with some maybe one-liners or whatever.
Yeah, and the producers really wanted it, which makes sense. Like it was a gritty like indie drama vibes, and I was just like it was a real crash course for me in like the like objective insanity of it. Like it's a lot like being like, okay, we got the Super Bowl coming up, and so we're gonna go see like if we can just find somebody to be on the New England Patriots who's never played football before. We should probably do that, right? And it's like, really?
Yes,
what?
we will.
But then you might find that one guy who is like working
didn't
on the
happen.
docs who get like it's possible, and it's wild to me, and like now I'm just going on a tangent. This is not helpful to anybody, but
Tangent away.
Yeah,
So I've only ever done street casting for commercials, when they like send you out with the director and they're like, look for a look.
Yeah, like that to me does make sense.
All right, y'all, I want to take a hot sec to talk about Fancy Face and Brittany Gray. Brittany Gray is an actor who has been at this for a really long time. She was actually like a client of mine years and years and years ago, like when I first started coaching. And she went and she built this whole thing. She created this this makeup brand. She does custom consultations. The products she has created are incredible. She's local Toronto. Supporting her was an absolute no-brainer because the product is amazing. She is amazing. What she's building is amazing. And we're going to be doing future collaborations with her where we're going to be giving away like makeup looks. Like essentially you go to her and she'll build your ideal self-tape look, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's all in the future. She's really cool. She's also given us an amazing 20% off of all of her products and services using the code DNA Pod. Links are in the description down below. I highly recommend you chat with Brittany and her team and dive into her world because, man, it's cool. She's cool. And now we're going to get back to the show.
So I asked the internet for like questions, not the internet, like people on our TikTok. You shared it on our Instagram, yeah. Because I think actors have a lot of questions of casting directors, and the like, are you okay if I pull some from the? I don't normally do this.
If I don't like any, I might just say pass.
Just be like, I think somebody asked how much do you bench? That was like excellent question.
120 if we're asking.
That's so funny. That's great. One person asks if it's possible for someone to be cast without agency representation.
Of course. Yes, 100%. Like so many of the wonderful projects that we work on, we do open calls, and you find people that don't have representation. Like people that don't have representation, I will say that you're going to see maybe 10% of what we do because open calls is a lot of work. Like it's budgetary and all that stuff. But like if you're looking for something very specific and you know that within the agent realm, there's only so many that you can pick from, and sometimes it's a really low budget thing, and you just know that the ones that are really great, they likely won't do it for whatever rate. And so you still ask those people, but you do know that in order to have options and in order to like make sure it works out, like, you do an open call to see whether it be kids, whether it be a specific language, whether it be a specific skill. And that happens all the time.
Right.
All the time. Like we had this beautiful boy, he auditioned for Paw Patrol. We were looking for someone that had a disability to represent one of the roles, and he was so great. And it was like a Canada and US wide casting, and he didn't get that part, but we then got asked by a feature that needed a boy who used a wheelchair to like go to PEI like the next day.
Oh, wow.
It was like, go. So we were able to go through and find local kids, and anyways, he ended up booking it and going and then doing this feature.
That's amazing.
Like Steve Amell, and like that was his dad, and like
wow,
yeah,
that's great.
But not just like so, and you will be, and we'll see, and if you're good, like we'll see you multiple times, and we'll remember to reach out. Like again, casting directors are not relying on just the agents, which we love, and they have such great people, but like we keep track of the ones that come from, just the open calls, and like keep their emails and have like lists that we go through, and it's not passive.
Yeah, I feel like I see you and Larissa doing a fair amount of open calls, like more than
we love doing open calls. We love finding the new faces. We love sort of having that in there, and like because also sometimes a role needs someone that's not polished.
Yeah,
there's like a greenness that's just sort of like they just are the role, and you can't really avoid that. And yeah,
I find that really cool, and I find the openness to that really cool. I feel like so much of the industry can be gatekept. Not intentionally, like it's gatekept in the way that like hockey is gatekept. It's like the equipment's.
Well, it is a business. It is an industry. Like and the people that are generally found and get a role that don't have an agent, very quickly they usually do. Especially if they're going to be booked for something. Like I would like them to have an agent. I want an agent to be able to respond to production on their behalf and be able to like negotiate for them if there's any negotiation power. But just like make sure they're being treated properly and all that. Like everyone wants everyone to do well, but you just want someone voicing for you. Mm-hmm. And also as a new person in film and TV and sort of on set, like there'll be a lot of questions that you have. You need someone who you can talk to, who knows the answers. Like once you're booked, like casting sort of isn't really a part of it anymore.
Right.
And production, who knows how many questions they can answer.
Right.
So like, it's really great if you get booked on something to please somehow
Have
get
somebody
some
be
representation.
negotiating on your behalf.
Because also you're like, I booked this. Like they were like, oh, did you? Wow, okay. Let me look at you then.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, and it's funny you were talking about heated rivalry, and it was like because obviously I like follow CAA on Instagram, and it's like heated rivalry. I'm just like wait for it. Like 6 minutes after it comes out, both those guys are scooped up. You know.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's just like and yeah, like that. Like that's the way it works. Like and then work tends to beget work. There's another question here, which is I'm going to say it as it's worded, but I'm going to paraphrase it, which is like, do you need a cover page with your name, project, and role for yourself, i.e. slate? So I'm going to tweak this and just say, because the answer to that is like, in general, yes, you need a slate. But how important are slates now that we're not able to get into the room?
They're important in that we need to know how tall you are. Like that's very important to be able to visualize and know all that.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like I think that I would argue that most like when I'm watching tapes, I'll watch a slate when I have to like put the link together and I have to put whatever notes in that I have to do.
Right.
Like whether it be location, heights, whatever producers sort of want. But and then a lot of times, like with specific roles or things, like we'll ask like how do you relate to the character? We'll ask sort of questions like I want to hear all those and I want to sort of see all that, and especially with kids too. Like you want to, because so many of them are directed by other people and kids just want to do right. They just want to do good.
Right.
And so like, I like to hear them talk as themselves as much as I can, because sometimes in the actual scene, they might not do that, but they can.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, is it worth a callback to sort of see if we can direct through the actual lines and that? Because like, I just love asking like, what kind of food do you like? What kind of food do you not like? Like just to see them talk in their own voice. Because it's really hard for kids sometimes to do written text.
It's funny because so that would be the reason behind the like sometimes casting calls, especially with tapes, will be like, tell us a story of the most recent dream you had or something that's just like
they just want to hear you talk.
Right.
Just in case maybe with scripted you're not as great with and you might need some tweaking, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
They just want to see you be yourself.
This is like usually when I speak about slates with clients, because a lot of actors slate like they wish they were dying. Like they're just like, hi.
I know, love your name, please. Like, please love it. Like, hello, I'm Colleen. I'm here. I'm 5'8", 9. I don't remember, but
it's so funny. I get such a kick out of it with actors. They're like, oh, I just hate slates. I'm like, you picked the job in front of the camera.
Maybe
it's
repetitive, and I understand, but like, it's important information for us to know, especially if we're like, if you're looking Canada-wide. I need to know where you live.
Yeah.
I just need to know it. That's it.
Yeah.
I just need to know. I need to know how tall you are. It's very important. Kids, I need to know your age.
Yes.
Tell me your age.
So important. Yeah, but
you don't have to say your agency though.
No.
If your agent says that, you don't. It's written. We see it.
Right.
That's old news.
Right. But I am curious on the topic of passing auditions, like passing. I pass very seldom as an actor, and I generally tell actors like there's this whole movement with actors like the power of no, and it's just like I don't know, like the way I view auditions is like it's compounding interest. It's like you're putting money into an account that's like growing and growing. You never know when that's going to start like really paying dividends.
Yeah.
So it's like do everything unless it's like really against your value system.
Like that yours
or
is
you
stocks.
actually
Like it's not
can't do
gambling.
it.
Stocks.
What's that?
Like paid in dividends. It's not gambling. It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
like
yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
It's like there's this compounding sort of.
Yeah,
building.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Because I think it feels like gambling for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think actors make a mistake in that they think of each individual audition as an independent thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that is constantly being put into a bank.
You're constantly building a world that you exist within the cast director's mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And then a different world that you exist in for the director's mind, and a different world for the producers. Like you are living within all these people's minds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that being said, I am curious because I know a lot of actors are afraid of this. Like if an actor does turn something down, does that reflect negatively on them?
Generally, I'm going to say no.
Right.
Like, because also none of us are saving the world. Like if you're sick, if you're not able to do it, if it's like the most stressful thing for you to do and you just do not have the bandwidth to do it right now, pass.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like you do not have to. I would say try not to pass because of ego. That becomes the whole thing.
Yeah.
However, though, if you think that if you were to audition for this part, be booked for it, and that like your frame of mind is that this would be no good for you, it's okay. Like you can pass.
Right.
But try to watch ego, because everything can be an opportunity if you view it as such. But I also do understand people ask a lot of actors.
Right.
Like, and you are welcome to put in boundaries.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I think that's and I do think that like.
Also, if you're uncomfortable, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
If you're like, I couldn't do that, like, don't do it.
But I do think that actors often like I've had clients whom they've been like, well, they're like, I'm never going to book this, so I'm just going to pass. I'm like, whoa.
That is the wrong thing to do.
Absolutely.
Because actors have no idea what they can do.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times I've talked to an actor, like, oh, how'd they see me this way? I'm like, how do they not? Like, I don't understand. Like, what in this specifically are you like, that's not for me. That's not me. Like, how? Most roles, I would argue, an actor can see themselves in. Most. Some get kind of crazy and whatever, and you can sort of have a tough time finding yourself in it. That's fine, but don't limit yourself in that way.
Well, it's also, to me, I think like, understand that the casting director knows what they're doing. Like, they know who you are. So it's like, if the breakdown, for me, take me for instance, if we're using it, is like,
yes, talk personally, it's good.
Like 275 pounds, you know, like muscle head. Like I get brought in for those roles, and I'm like, oh, well, they're seeing me because I would be the stabby, skinny version of that guy. Like, they're seeing
because
me.
you can't limit it to being just that. Like,
exactly.
As you get into sort of model types, as you get into sort of like really, a lot of people have a tough time with dialogue and making it so that you need someone who can act as well.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I just did a short film where I had to find like a really muscly dude.
Nice.
And like the most muscly dude I've ever seen was the biggest, cutest teddy bear. And he was actually really good with dialogue. But I was shocked.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like, it's just something that you need to, You need options in it, and you want to show them good actors, you want to show them just what's right for the part that might need a lot more direction and time on set. And then, the producers and directors and everyone else gets to pick about where we go with it.
And this actually leads really well into the next question that I have here, which is how much power does casting actually have in the final decision?
Very little. I mean, you can be asked, like you have an opinion. I mean, the first link is your opinion. It's all your opinion. Mm-hmm. It's all, but no, you're in conversations, but the selects come from director, producer, and then those go off to network and whomever else. And
right.
I mean, if we are like, you've missed this person, like what? Like, I'll put someone else forward. There's like, we will do that. For
right.
Like, what are you doing? But generally, in terms of actual final say, not very much, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Also, good to know that you guys go to bat. Like, if you feel like
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's funny you say always, but like that is a glass.
I know.
Of water
I know. No one feels that,
right?
but it's like you can. I don't know. It's like when you're making. So yes, we do auditions. We figure all this out, but also like we are constantly doing like suggestions of like lists of people. To sort of like sell a show
right.
before it's even sold. Like there's a lot of that and these sort of ideas and everything.
Yeah.
And so like in those conversations, we're also like, this person's like about to pop off. Mm-hmm. Like we've been seeing them for years. They're doing this, and that. And like, look at them.
Like get them
like,
now.
Seriously.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah. Sick. That's great. It's just like, it's really encouraging. Again, these are things that I know because I've been fortunate enough to be on the production side of it. But I think are going to be really useful. I think the biggest issue that actors are dealing with right now is perhaps like an element of hopelessness through no fault of anybody's, but it's just because we are a little bit alone in the process. And you had talked about the loneliness of it, and I think it's really easy to like I tell actors some of the things that you're saying, and I think it's so great that like. People can tune into this and actually get it.
From you.
I think that's important. It's like it's one thing to like know that you're doing a good job, and it's like it's another thing to be told. Like sometimes that just like having validation.
Well, and also like
nice.
I think that actors can be a really critical of themselves. Like
I
keep touching the mic by the way, so I'm very sorry.
Nah, that's fine.
They can be really critical of themselves. Like I will not name names, but early on in my career, we were doing a callback with someone who is now doing quite well in their career, and I walked him out of the callback, and he was just like, oh, I messed it up. It was terrible. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that was great. And he booked it. And like, but he thought it went horribly and that it was not, it just wasn't what he thought it was going to be. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's also like actors are terrible judges of their work while they're doing their work. It's like not like you can't.
But also like you need to try not to judge it while you're doing it.
Yeah.
If you're judging it, then while you're doing it, then likely, yes, it wasn't that great. But like try not to.
Yeah.
Try to think of your objective and the next thing you're trying to do and what you need out of your scene partners and just try to live in the moment as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's going to give you a lot more than like, oh, I said that word weird and whatever.
Well, and it's like, trust the people on the other side of the camera whose job it is to assess. Like, it's not our job to assess while we're doing it. It's their job to assess so that they can direct us. So
it becomes hard though with tapes because you have no one to
does.
assess. So it becomes really, really tough, and I understand that. But become really good detectives.
Yeah.
There's lots of information and breakdowns, like even more than I think is there. Like if you look at the producers and what they do, if you look at the directors and what they've worked on, their previous work, just sort of like get ideas, become slightly engulfed. And it's not that you have to spend so much time doing research or anything. Like it's not time put in, it's working smart to get the hints that you need to get there quickly, put it out there, and then hopefully forget about it until maybe booked.
Yeah. This is one of the biggest notes that I would say a lot of the coaching that I do is the first note is always great performance, you're not in the show. And then asking the question, did you do research on comparable shows within the genre? And almost always the answer is no. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, there's performance styles that are associated with all of these things. It's like, it's not just about, can you act good? It's what is the world that you're being asked to exist in, and can you fit within that and then act very well within
And then
that,
be honest
obviously.
with yourself. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
It's so much, but I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And there's a reason why if you can get the work pays really well.
Yes.
Because it's so friggin' specialized. Like it's really specialized. You and I talked about this when we were at dinner. How much do technical elements like lighting, framing, sound actually matter for tapes?
I mean, I can see past it. Like people like us casting directors, we can see past it. And like, if you're shiny, you're going to be shiny. However, don't do anything that's going to pull away from you. Like, why would you do that? Like, if you don't have a perfect professional setup, that's totally fine. But like, if it's messy behind you, let's tidy it. Let's just make sure there's a window that has light. We can see you. Make sure your framing isn't like your head's down here and it's way up here. Like, just sort of like do whatever you can to help you in whatever. Like the amount of times that we'll get like little notes on where we've like called it out, like on breakdown. EcoCast. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't have like my usual setup. That's fine. I don't think we're going to generally actually notice. It's like, just as long as you frame yourself fine, you have your eyeline just slightly off camera, and you're able to present yourself in a professional way. It is a job. You're putting yourself forward for a job. So like, as long as it looks as best as possible professional. And then as you have the funds, as you're able to do it, like, do whatever you want that makes you feel like you shine. That's fine. But you don't need a lot to do it. In terms of polish, networks have a tendency to be used to seeing things that are quite polished, like depending on which productions we're working with, which networks we're working with, like different producers will either just send like raw tapes. Some will have like a full, like this is for obviously like leads and series, regulars and stuff, but like full setups of cameras where they edit like a short of them together. And their chemistry reads, like that does happen too.
Okay.
So like they're used to it, but it doesn't happen very often. There's not much money, so you kind of really have to. So generally, it's raw tapes or raw Zooms, or if you're lucky enough to be in person, then what was done in the room. But sometimes it is just your raw tape that you did at home. So like, if you make it look as best as you can, and I do not mean putting money into it. I just mean lighting, looking presentable and making sure that back is clean and that your camera is high enough and all that.
Yes,
it's just so helpful because the networks are approving them and they are used to a lot more polish.
Yeah, and I think too. So that's super, super helpful. And it my rule of thumb tends to be like, you want to look like you could fit on the show. Like meaning when they're watching their audition, they'll be like, oh yeah, this person fits in the show. And they're sometimes when it comes to aesthetic, hair, makeup, wardrobe, things like that, where it's just like, hey, I do think an adjustment should be made because like at the highest network levels, like the things that cause you not to get it can be so
So
minuscule,
minute,
and they might not even know why, but they're
Yeah,
just like,
but
oh, I
it
didn't
just
like that
happened.
take
Yeah.
as much. And we do this all the time. Like there's a reason why, like, you know, we're still a relatively young podcast, and we rent cool spaces and we have cameras and lighting because we know that like that people will be more likely to watch if it looks good, if it's pleasing to look at. Like it's a thing that we think about. And so as much as the aesthetic side of the industry, I do think has become a political minefield, I do think that making best efforts to be like, you know what, I look like somebody who could immediately slot into that show.
Just don't do anything that would not do well for you. Like
Yes.
it's like, to answer the question, it's to dress the part as best as you can without like, you know, breaking the bank or doing anything. And if like you don't feel like you have a shirt that fits or whatever, just a black shirt works. Just join neutral if you don't feel like it's right. If it's like a lawyer role and you have a bit of a scruffy beard, even if you just like
Trim it down. Yeah.
It doesn't always have to go. And also mentioning in your slate if you're willing to shave or not. Like, that's also like good information for people to have.
Yeah.
Beards for men is a whole thing. Bangs for women, length of hair, color of hair. It's all, I don't know. Everything pigeonholes you, but also like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do, and then just like do what you can to fit in the tape, and be willing to shift as needed. Like it's just sort of.
Yeah, that's great. I find the conversation around aesthetic really, really fascinating because I think of it like the seasoning, like the bit of paprika that can make a dish just like work. Like all these other ingredients can be way more like weighty, a much bigger part of it, and then this one little thing causes the whole thing to come together. And so, so that's why I always encourage clients. Like, it used to be that the setups were really expensive, like like cameras, lights, all this stuff. But now, like the kit that I think it was like $150, you know,
Sure.
like that I use. It's might have been a little bit more than that, but the investment is much less now. And then we all have you know, smartphones, which
a lot of them have great cameras, like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And then it's also funny though, because I do have a lot of clients who like, especially folks in like if I'm coaching this like via Zoom, I have to get them to send me their tapes or their takes, and when we think we have it, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, but you're shooting down to up. It's like in Brad Pitt doesn't look good when it's all nostrils. Like get it where it needs, like learn the angles of your face. This is important, you know, because these things matter when everybody's good enough to book it. Then the things that cause people to be like, no, it's just not right. It's so minuscule and out of your control. So like as much of it that you can control, try to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a hot sec here and talk about the partnership we have going on with Othership, which is a super cool place. I mentioned them in the intro. I do genuinely go to Othership every Friday. I got sober a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, hot damn. And going there has replaced going to the bar for me. It's a really cool social place. I quite love the process of the sauna and the cold plunge. I enjoy doing hard things, and there's something about the experience that really resonates with me, and it resonates with a lot of actors that I know. So if you're into the wellness journey and all that stuff, you can check out our partnership with them. With the code Douglas Nyback, you can get 11% off all of your classes and packs. There's also a 2-for-1 deal if you're a first timer. So you get 2 passes for the price of 1, which is super excellent. You can use for yourself or for a guest. The links are in the description down below. And you can also get 1 month free of the Breathwork app, which I use very often. Anyway, I quite like these things. And that's why we're partnering with them, because I friggin' enjoy Othership. And I think it genuinely makes my life better, and I think it'll make your life better. So check it out. If you feel so inclined. Now let's get back to the show. Appreciate you.
Let me just see here. How? So this is an interesting one, and I think it's different in different markets. But how do actors stay on casting directors' radars without being annoying? Like, if I were to paraphrase this, I would paraphrase to say, like sometimes a client who's like new will be like, well, can I just like reach out to the casting director? And I'm like, I don't think you can, no. but
I mean, you can, but like, well, you get an answer. Well,
yeah.
Like our emails are public, but the best way is to have your agent make sure they're submitting you and do your work for your auditions and present good tapes, because you will be on our minds. That's the best way. And it's not that you can't message them, but I don't know. I think that will end up being like a lot won't answer. Like it just sort of. Yeah, I would say putting a good tape is probably the best.
Yeah, act good. Yeah.
Act good, and be vulnerable and fun and have a good slate and just sort of like be happy to be there as much as like you know, tone is something that we remember too, and you know, and we also, I don't know, sometimes you'll get a slate and you're like, they're not doing good. Like I'll reach out, like, are they okay? Like I'll ask their rep or something. Like,
Oh,
it'll happen. Like just checking in. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they all right? I'm
It's like, oh, it's in character. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Slates. My rule of thumb is slates is like treat it like when you walk. Like again, because I came up in person. It's like you want to teach them who you're going to be on set, which is ideally somebody who's like, you know, hey, what's up? I'm going to be a perfectly normal person on set who is capable of being professional.
I'm normal.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like Jared Leto freaking mailing people dead rats. Like,
Precisely.
I'm cool.
Yeah. You don't have to be like super outgoing. If you're not that
No.
person, that's totally fine. You just need to
Yeah.
know that you're like, hi, happy to be here.
Not a psycho. Like, do enjoy acting. That's the whole point. Yeah. I find it.
Hey, can we swear on this?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, on YouTube we bleep it, but then for Spotify and Apple.
Sakes.
Son of a.
That was so fun.
It's so nice. Yeah.
It was like a professional, like you don't swear.
I don't know. I think everybody does.
Everyone does, but they pretend they don't.
Yeah. I'm curious. How much does social media matter to this?
I get asked this a lot, actually.
I bet.
I get this question asked a lot, and like, it's a tough one to answer because like, can it matter? Yes. Does it always matter? No. If you have a big social media following, does it mean that you're a good actor? Not necessarily. Can it? Yes. But if it's something that like you enjoy doing and feeds your soul in some way, great, go for it. If it's something that you absolutely hate, I would not suggest doing it. It does come up that, you know, a producer will want someone that has a big social media following. And then we ask a bunch of social media people to audition, and a lot of them aren't very good. A few are, and you sort of like filter through it that way.
Yeah.
So like, yes, it's another avenue to be seen. It's another avenue for that to be helpful. But is it a must? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Can it be a tool if you wish to use it? Yes. Can it be detrimental if you wish it to be? Yes. Like it's all sort of a double-edged sword, and how you. That's why I want you, if you are going to do it, to like it, and then you get into all like political views and everything is polarizing, and yeah.
It is. I find, that side of it I find fascinating, because I think actors can really quickly like damage their reputations pretty publicly, which is a wild thing, because it didn't like you didn't used to be able to do that. Like, it's pretty new.
I think when we had dinner, you had mentioned like how much we sort of put out there, like sort of like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, there's that feeling, right?
No,
like, or of that, like as you start, you're like, oh God, what have I said? Does it matter? And then it's like, oh, it's sort of like off the cusp, like becomes less and less precious.
Yeah.
And then like, because I think a lot of the times when something does blow up in a negative way towards somebody, it's that feeling of safety that then sort of a moment of showing a light of you that maybe wasn't very educated or old or like,
Sure,
you know,
yes.
like, and you're like, oh my God. Anyways.
Yeah.
Just be a good human.
It's so tough, because it's also
Love
like
everybody and
yeah, so much of social media is reactionary, like myself included. Like it's like it's I constantly find myself being like typing something and then being like, the world does not need this in it. Like this is just
like
me.
a comment on something.
Yeah, or a comment, or like and I'm just like, this doesn't better anything outside of me having a bit of a dopamine hit right now, and I don't need that. Like I can go rock climb. You know, like there are other ways for me to
I'm
cultivate.
now imagining you having a rock climb like in your house. I know that's
No, yeah, could you imagine?
But that I was just like, and then you
Sick.
just hop
And I
on your
just-
wall. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Maybe one day I'll be successful. So
It's on the vision board.
yeah. Social media is fascinating to me, because like the same question that like actors ask me that a lot, and a lot of actors will be like, well, I hate social media so much, and I'm like, well, I would say that it's probably worth examining why you hate it, because usually discomfort around sharp edges are like worth leaning into a little bit, because like, do I think that having a really big following and the ability to market to them for free for a production is like potentially useful? Yeah,
Well,
for
and also
sure.
like different influencers, different creators. Like you can build something if you wish to. If you are a creative that has all those avenues and want to work that muscle, like it is in many ways filmmaking.
Yeah.
in sort of short form and all that. And like, yes, a lot of them are like cut up into like just little bits that are online, and then that gets you into the longer YouTube one and all that. But like, in many ways, if you're an artist and that's a way for you to express yourself and build a craft, like also like networks might find you. That is a thing, like Austin Alexander.
Yep.
That's one, you know?
Yeah. I think about you.
Jay and Trey in The Office Movers, like.
Yeah, exactly. And you know Julie Nolke, right?
Yeah, Julie Nolke, exactly.
She's like a perfect example. Well, because of Burbs, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it was because that was like we cast that in just after, like right after like COVID or whatever, and that's when she started doing her wonderful videos that were so funny and everything, and she was like popping off, and it was just like, you know, I mean, she got the part not because of her social following, but it happened sort of like at the same time.
Well, and like in those situations, being able to, I would imagine, and I can't speak for, because I know Julie had been doing like sketch comedy on the internet for ages before. Those it was
in the COVID
pandemic,
time that it all kind of,
because she did the explaining the pandemic to
precisely,
myself videos.
and then it went viral, and
it's like simply having something that was that funny that I would imagine like people in the decision making teams saw that and they were like, well, this person's great. So I I find like pull the thread of creativity, and if it takes you in those directions, then sick. Like it's probably gonna be helpful. Like we're all trying to like so many actors are like, well, okay, I'm gonna go to an acting studio and record a demo with a bunch of fake scenes. And
you're
it's
right.
like, or just like,
but it's like it
you know.
The social media or the sort of the YouTube or the building or all that stuff, it can't be like an avenue to get famous. It can't be an avenue to do that. It has to be, how do I build my own craft? Like, so, which is, you know, so if that's not what you want to do, then don't do it.
No, yeah, like like going into, well, it's the same with like getting into acting. If you're getting
Precisely,
into acting, just like, this is the easy way to get famous. I'm like, yeah, is it? It's like, it's all hard, and it's hard everywhere.
If you're going to pick between social media famous or acting famous, go social media famous.
Oh, you think? Yeah, I suppose.
In terms of
just getting famous.
Getting some sort of,
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, without the pressure of like you can just go like do offensive shit.
I'm not saying you will become famous. I just think it's maybe more likely on social media. I don't know. We're kind of in a time where it's getting muddled. Like, I don't know, I grew up in a time where it was like YouTube was a thing starting in high school. And it wasn't like it was a thing when I was growing up, like really young. And then it was like, oh my God, YouTube. And then, oh my God, MSN. And like, you know, so, and then when you first had the YouTube influencers, like they kind of started there generally.
It all started there.
YouTube influencers, and then it's now turned into, you know, TikTok and X, is that what it's called?
Yeah, X. We're back to Elon.
Instagram.
Elon
I'm so sorry, Elon. No. Political.
God damn you, Elon. Yeah, it's like I find it fascinating. I would say like, yeah, there's no burden of like continuing to be good at acting when you're like seeking fame via social media. It's like you know. Yeah,
they can be found in other ways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If that's what you're looking for.
Maybe. Or not at all. Who knows?
Yeah. Who heckin' knows?
I'm going to say, I think it's easier to do it on social media.
Statement
I'm going to stick to it.
Statement made. Is there anything, like, are there consistencies within tapes that you see where you're just like, I really wish actors would just stop friggin' doing this? I said friggin' even though we're allowed to curse on this.
We're not cursing anymore, everyone.
Yeah, I just didn't want to like put curses in like I was doing it in that moment. So I was assuming that you would be nicer to actors than others. But are there any things that like within tapes that there are consistencies that you're just like, oh, please stop doing this, this is killing your tapes? And the answer to this can be no.
I know. No, I definitely think so. Let's see if as I talk, if I'm able to answer it. I'm going to now change it into another question.
Do it.
The worry of standing out. The worry of like, how do I stand out? Because we're not looking for you to stand out. We're not looking for you to do something to stand out. We're looking for you to know your moments, be detailed in what's happening, know what is happening, and for us to see all those thoughts happening and everything happening, and like, and not just saying the words and running through it sort of generally. So a way to stand out is to do the work.
This is so, okay, so this is really validating for me. I'm just gonna take a moment to dab on my hair.
Because we can see it, like it's so close, we can see it. I can see if you're listening, I can see if you've thought it and then said it. I can see, I can see if you're not doing anything while the reader's talking.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be doing anything, but just sort of actively there.
I find
I can see when you go to lunch, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I like if you think it will read. And I always say, like, to the point where it's like now just like a freaking catchphrase, but like 9 out of 10 actors don't give bad auditions, they just give the exact same audition. And the 1 out of 10 is usually the one that just does the actual thing.
Like that.
Like that will actually set you apart.
And I understand that it's a lot of work and it's hard and it's repetitive and all that, but just generally saying it isn't going to help.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, it's just not. So I guess another back to your question about passing, like, if you don't have time to figure it out, that's totally fine. Like, you don't have to tape it. But also, sometimes when you don't know anything, it can go great. If you're able to just be alive.
But you have to commit to the thing in front of you.
Precisely.
Like your ability to like talk words is not.
No. There has to be some sort of like, you know, you are putting out a point of view on this, not a generality.
Thoughts on, can you tell when an actor is using a teleprompter and not talking to a reader? Because it's happening more and more now.
I say sometimes, but not all the time, no. Like, and I mean, if you have, I know a lot of like the sides are sort of like placed all around.
Yeah.
Keep them close to camera.
Yeah.
It becomes less obvious. As it gets further from camera, it's more obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like fine, but get it closer. Help yourself out as best you can. But also, it doesn't bother me if you have a teleprompter. It does not bother me if you don't know your lines, as long as you know what you're saying.
Right. So it's not a memorization test.
Not a memorization test. Do you know what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like, have you gone in to figure out the thoughts? Have you gone in to figure out the situations and what the relationships are?
Yeah.
Are those relationships poignant to you? Like, you know, who are you talking to? Why? What do you need?
Yeah.
Just generally.
Isn't it wild how it all comes back to like the who, what, where, when, why, and how?
Completely.
It's
like in school, everything. Yeah.
It's like all the way back to the Greeks, man. It like hasn't changed. It's just like,
well, even like these, even these
onion.
products you're auditioning for, they've all answered those questions in order to get funding, in order to do, like, it's like, it's all who, what, when, where, why, and how.
It is.
It's all that.
I know. And it's like, that's what you get taught day one. This is why I often think of acting as like, it's like learning poker where it takes 5 minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. And it's like your evolution of understanding of it. And I see actors, like I work with actors across decades now because I'm like 1,000. And I'm like, it's like, oh, we've been talking about the same shit for so long, but like the evolution of the way in which you understand those things is just like, it's like
so much
life.
of it exists in an intangible way, so it becomes it's all a thought experiment.
It totally is, yeah. But it's not unlike life. It's like the basic things that you were taught for how to be a good person and all this stuff. It's like at 40, I understand those things so much better than I did when I was 20. But when I was 20, I would have been like, I got this, you know. And then it's like a life of imperfection and failure and success, and you know, your understanding of those simple concepts grows and changes. It's not like I'm at an arrival point with any of these things now, like acting or in life, which is what I love so much about acting, is that it's like the constant pursuit of furthering your understanding of these concepts, and then one day you just die, you know, and it's like, great, you never have it. It's always, there's always more.
How much do you think about death? That's enough.
You know, it's funny, this is dark, but like more since I turned 40.
Okay, all right, that was the decade for it to sort of be dawning on you.
Well, because I was like, oh man, like I had it in my mind, it was like, I'll live to be 100. And it's like, if I do, like, not well for the last 15 of those, you know, like it's like those are the adult diaper years. It's like, you know, and I'm like, oh, I actually got a really limited amount of time by way of decades to keep this to like really do what I want to do. And,
have you noticed? Maybe not. Who knows? I'm in my 30s, but there's been a pattern of sort of, if you hang with people in a little older generation, sort of relay your life and everything. The amount of times I've been being told, this is the best time of your life, like right now.
Yeah,
we're off acting completely now.
I have mixed feelings about that statement.
Yeah, that's the thing that.
Because what you don't want to say to an elder is like, maybe you should examine your life now.
I did not respond to that ever. No.
But like, yeah, like, you know, like my. but I'm like maybe
you are kind of like, how do I respond? And I'm like, are you happy?
Yeah, like you know that like there's no age limit on therapy, right? Like just fucking go figure.
I mean, the older generations aren't necessarily open to therapy, so that's a whole other. We are, and
yes,
you know, we came up in a time of therapy and it being an acceptable thing to do, and actually very important to work on yourself and know what's happening to you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think I've ever had a chunk of time in my life that I would look back and be like, those were the best times so far. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I like where I'm at now. But also I think as an actor, that's part of like maybe what has made me an actor, which is the addiction to what's happening in the moment. Like that's
choosing to live.
Yeah, it's a really powerful addiction. And we've talked a lot about and I love that you have this perspective on actors, like it's hard and it can be lonely, and you've said multiple times like it's really hard, and it is, but I also think that there's something really beautiful about like living a fully felt life.
Well, actors live you should live a full life. Like you should be going and doing experiences. You should be new actors, go work on sets, go do that. Like experience life to the best that you can. Do not sit waiting for a phone. For a phone call. Do not sit around. Don't let it just pass you by, because an experienced actor in life is an informed actor in their work.
Yeah.
Like it all informs itself. And so go find what makes you happy. Try something that you think you might hate, and then you hate it, and that's fine. Now you know.
Yeah.
And then, fine, I'll do pottery. Fine.
that was where the passion came in pottery. But you know, like it's like we're instruments, and you know, a piano's a piano. It's like a finite thing. But like
work on skills. Yeah.
Like imagine if a piano was able to be like, you know what, I can just create more keys, and actors can. Like we can just be adding, and parts of us die, and other parts of us grow, and it's. Like I think increasingly as I've gotten older as an actor and as a coach, I've become more aware of how much of that makes such an intangible difference in like your tapes. You can't, like if I look at my tapes from 10 years ago, it's like, well, technically I'm doing a lot of the same stuff. I am exponentially better at it now. Like, and it's not close, but it's all intangible. And that's why too, when actors are like, well, it hasn't happened for me, so I think I'm going to give up. I'm like, you aren't even, like, you're barely a person yet. Like, don't give up. You are going to be so much richer as a human in this process in 5 years. Like, just stick with it.
Yeah, and if you still love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you like it, there's plenty of like, man, like there's so much shit out there that you're not gonna like. Like if you have something that you like,
I know.
even if you're not like in love with it, it's like better. Like
I
might be enough.
This is good.
Yeah.
When I have the opportunity to do this, I like that. But then also like thinking of ways to broaden how to act, when to act. I don't know. Building community in other ways. Sort of like one thing I love about like living in Toronto or pretty much anywhere that I've lived when you're sort of in an artistic avenue of like what you enjoy to do is that it's usually, if you're open to it and if you want to find it, you can generally find a support system and community, and like don't be bogged down by people like not reaching out to you. Be the one to reach out. Because as we get older, as we grow, everyone's worlds a lot of times shrink. So how do we keep them open? Yeah. And like that's one thing. It's so funny. If you ask kids who are on set and like, what do you love about acting? One of the main things they say is meeting everyone and all the new people. Yeah. So like, don't let that die.
It's so funny
in your life.
Yeah. Because like I'll straight up.
And if you're an introvert, enjoy it, love it. Be introverted. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But like I get that, but it's also a business of relationships, and relationships don't fall in your lap. Yeah. Like. You know, and like I'll straight up tell you, like what you just described there is one of the main reasons why I started this podcast. Here's the thing, like I don't think I would have been having this conversation with you had we not met at the had we not met at the play. Yeah. And also like I would say so many of like it's like I went to that play because Eris was on this show. Yes, and we're like, and it's like, and I know Eris, but it's like I literally went to that because he was on a couple of episodes before that play. So it's just like this has, like I did this because my world was starting to get small, and I was like, I don't like that my world is getting small. I don't like myself when my world is getting small, and so it's like that's such low key, transformative advice. Like there is a world out there, and there are people out there, and you should want to go meet them, and it's one of the coolest parts of this whole gig. The whole gig, and also people like to connect. Like people want. It's the whole point of living. Is to like meet people, connect with them. And acting at its base is like the business of connection. It's literally monetized. Well, that's what we're watching. Connection. We're just watching. Everyone's obsessed with humans. We're obsessed with them. Yeah. We want to watch them on social media. We want to watch them on our TV, on our films, everything. We're obsessed with human relationships and how those form. Yeah.
And creatively puppeting them.
Yes, exactly. And putting it together.
Putting it together and doing that. That's why I cast.
It's humanity, creativity, and problem solving all in one. It's like everything that your brain wants from a dopaministic standpoint. It's super cool. I am such a huge fan of you, and I think we probably have to bring this thing into land because we're gonna run out of time. But I tend to end this thing by asking if there's any piece of advice, like if you could go back in time and chat with like just starting out you, is there any piece of advice that you would give her? And the answer can always be no. You can be like, no, you gotta,
Think very highly of myself. So it's one of those
As
things.
you should.
Well, it's one of those things where you're like, I think it would be, don't be afraid to put yourself out. Like, don't let those sort of things in your head sort of stop you from, like, get any opportunity to do something, to do it. Like, it's sort of, not that I ever really let it happen, but there's always moments where you're like, oh, I don't want to go do this, I don't want to go do that, or whatever. And like, just always enjoy the process, and we're not saving the world, and it can be stressful, but it's because you care, and like you're gonna love it even 10 years in.
That's such a beautiful life hack, that idea of like it might be stressful, but you love it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like you really care. I think so often we confuse stress with something mattering to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also curious, just because you're a casting director, if you're okay with answering this question, if there's one piece of advice you could give actors who are auditioning right now, what would you say? Knowing that, like,
look at it as an opportunity to work, and not that getting the job is the work. The work is the audition, and
right.
So use it to learn from, build from, and try to enjoy it as much as you can, because it's a part of living, and it's examining all that, and you're able to step into someone else's shoes and try and do your version of that, and that's like really magical.
It is magical. I agree.
It really is.
Yeah.
I know it gets old and repetitive and like all that, but it's all an opportunity. So don't worry about how many they're seeing. Don't worry about all those things. Like, we want you to do well, so do what you can to do well. And that's just you being yourself and being detailed in your decisions on your opinion on this piece.
That's great. I'm like
it's all gotten very earnest.
I said it before. I'm such a huge fan of yours, and I, like, it means a lot to me that you took the time to come and chat.
Well, I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, that you have
nice.
that this is here, because like actors are lonely. We're lonely too. Like we we all work from home, and like I'm always on the phone with like Larissa and Jade, our lovely assistant, and like we're an associate, and we're like constantly like talking, but we're all like in our respective homes. Like, we don't really see people as much in terms of like it used to be daily in auditions and all that.
I know. And your love for what you do, and your love for the casting process, to me, even just in like the little bit of time that like I'm pretty uncynical about the industry, and that could be because I've been lucky. It could just be because I love it. But having a little bit of access to hanging out with you, like, I walked away from those conversations, and I'm walking away from this conversation with just like, oh man, like, everybody on all sides of this thing cares as much as I do, and that's such a like supportive thing, and so thank you for coming in and just being you.
Thank you for having me and being you. Great. Like, I've had so much fun.
Look at us here at the end of the podcast. This is nice.
Seem more Canadian, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you. Man. You're great.
I could talk to you for hours. There's like
All right. Here we are at the end of all things. Thank you so much for being here at the end of the episode. I hope that this was as rewarding for you as it was for me, and as interesting and insightful, and it was cool. I loved every minute of this conversation, and I learned things and had some of my beliefs challenged and all sorts of stuff, which is really great. Whenever I talk to casting directors, the more I get to know them, the more I'm like, it helps me become a better actor and a better coach, and I really love that. So thank you again to Colleen for being on the show. Thank you all for being here, and it's funny, this is a little personal moment, but like last night I was at a cast dinner and then we were at a friend's premiere and got home and my poor dog Tundra she got Giardia, which just means like you shit and vomit everywhere. So we got home and that's what had happened. So we were cleaning until like 3 a.m. and my face definitely is feeling that. And it is really interesting because here I am. I just did a coaching and now I'm here talking to you fine people. And it really is a measure of how much I love this process because I'm working on, I just got an Aura ring, not a sponsor. And it's like, dude, I know we've only known you for a couple of days, but are you dying? Because I've been on set, my sleep schedule's been all over the place. But even when my cup is almost empty, I think doing this podcast really fills it. I know it does. And so anyway, this is just me saying, this is a long, tired way of me saying I'm grateful you're here. And now for that thing that everybody says, please do click like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Favorite if you really like it. I think I just did somebody else's outro. Might be Philip DeFranco's outro. Shout out to Philip DeFranco. Or if you're here on Spotify or Apple, please rate us, follow us, rate us 5 stars. That's nobody rates stuff on those. I never rate stuff on those, but that actually is a huge metric of success for podcasts. So if you could, that's really huge for us. Okay, thank you. That's it. That's all. I will see you next episode. In the meantime, go be people.